guys, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Richard, aka Dizzy Digger. We got shut down on site today due to the weather. So I have this jumping jack here that wouldn't start. So this is what we're going to figure out today. Hey guys, so I got this jumping jack here. We had it on site this morning and we couldn't get it started. It looks like it's really dirty down here, so maybe some leaks. We didn't put a new spark plug into it, but it didn't help given on site it was really cold this morning, so I didn't delve too much in it. So I'm going to start to take it apart and see if we can find out what was wrong. Don't mind the noise in the background. It's just Bruno on his treadmill. So first things first, let's see if we get this cover off. Get everything exposed. Seems like there's only 3 bolts. One of which don't vent. Let's try this one. All the difference in the world. I'm not exactly sure what this is, but it doesn't look like it's seated, right? looks like that is supposed to sit in here for some protection. So we have a small screwdriver for that thing, please. How much you want to bet I end up driving a screwdriver to my head? Okay, put that back on, and we're going to pull a spark plug and check for spark. Start with simple things first, but just remember this plug because we might be back here. Now, my guys placed the spark plug this morning. I'll be honest with you, I don't know how they managed to get into this. Let me see if I can get you an angle. So, this spark plug is actually in there. It was actually that tight that they got the intake, they got an indent made for a spark plug. Now, I'm gonna see if I can get you set up here at an angle where I can actually film and get this plug out. Let's see. This is probably the best angle I got. So, let's see. Kudos to us for getting their hands in there somewhere. Because when we were on site this morning, it actually started to snow real bad. We were on the side of a lake, and the wind was just ripping in past us. It was not a very enjoyable morning. Yeah, it doesn't really look like she was getting any gas, actually. So that may definitely lead to the carburetor. So yeah, it doesn't really look like she was getting any gas or firing. Let's set up and just make sure that this is sparking and go from there. I've listened to the help of Miss Dizzy Digger. So let's see if this got spark. Go ahead. So I think our next step is we'll pull that carburetor off and clean that up. I'll be honest with you, I've never dealt with this style of carburetor, but It shouldn't be too bad. So I'll say, yep, let's get this pulled off. Maybe I should hit this with a little bit of brake clean, get all this gunk off, and so that I can actually see what I'm doing. Just give me a second, I'll get it cleaned up. I'll come right back. Okay, we got that cleaned up so we can actually see some of the screws. I did notice there's a leak in here. You can see this aftermarket fitting, and I can't really tell, but it looks like it's got a crack right here. I'm not sure if you can see that. But when I get the carburetor off, I'll definitely be able to get a better look at that. So we'll pull this off and see from there. Guys, I didn't do a real good job when I was shooting this video explaining. This screw I'm taking out here, this is for the throttle cable. It's just a little cable that pushes through and this screw pinches it, and it leads up to the top of the jumping jack. On the bottom, you see me break them loose. There's only 2 nuts that hold the carburetor into the side of the engine, and then this whole assembly comes off. So this one here, when I press the primer, it actually pumps fuel out of here. So I wanted to see, that's why I didn't take the fuel line off before this. And I think that was a major problem. But we'll get this on the bench, take it apart, clean it up. I do not have a kit or anything to rebuild, and I'm expecting that an actual new carburetor will be cheaper than a rebuild anyway. But we'll see. This out. We definitely weren't the first ones into this though. So it looks like all this is here is just for the throttle cable. 2 bolts. So, there is a small gasket. Looks like I was lucky enough to save it, so maybe not so much that washer. It was incorrect. This is definitely some kind of porting, and I don't think you guys see it, but it's absolutely filthy. So we'll get that cleaned up too. Maybe it's going to be a better shot right there. So we'll clean that up. So with those two, I was going to say that should come off. So this is the first time I've seen this, so that when you pull your throttle, you can only put the choke closed when you're on low throttle. And let's see if it's, I'm sure you can see it, but it's bubbling fuel out there. So that should just be a return line, but it might only just be cut a little bit of that line off. So let's undo this clip. And like I said, you can easily tell that we were definitely not the first ones into this. And there's the problem right there. So guys, remember this piece of fuel line. This will come back to haunt us in the end. So keep watching and we'll see what happens to this line. Yeah, so I think we have enough line just to be able to cut it off up here and reattach. I think that will serve the purpose. And this line here is hard, so we may have to go see if we can get another line, some more fuel line. Sorry about that, guys. Didn't mean to hit you in the head. Ooh, she's spraying. Let's see if we can get something to catch that. Hey guys, I think I'm going to start by taking the primer off because it's not pumping fuel into the carb. Seems good and flexible. So it's still flexible there. And maybe it comes up in here. So I think all we're gonna do is shoot this down some carb cleaner and see where we go. Here we see that was that one there. I'm worried that one is clogged up. But I don't have my tip cleaners here. Okay, there you guys. I'm going to get this put back in place. There you go. That is definitely backwards. That's still nice and soft, so that should be fine. This is not the way it was done. Okay, let's throw this back on and see if it helps. So guys, I just cut this fuel line off. Not sure if you can see it. I'll see if I can get the light behind it. You see the dark spot? That is actually a full-on blockage in it. So that may very well have been our problem. So we'll get the carb thrown back on. So guys, unfortunately, the battery went dead on the camera before I realized it. So I actually didn't get any video of putting the carb back on. But this throttle cable, trying to get it fed back down where it was frayed out, was a nightmare. But we got it. Everything else looks good. I couldn't get new fuel line here tonight. No one had it in stock. The crack that I mentioned here earlier is on the oiler. But the actual owner's machine, a friend of mine, he's been running mixed fuel into it since he's owned it. So he actually doesn't use it. But I'll just give her a pull, get her started up and show you. So there it is, guys. Back working again. We pulled her over and over this morning, and no way. But as you can see, that blockage in that line was definitely an issue. So guys, thanks for following along. Just little tidbits of stuff that you can run into when you're working on a construction site. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, God bless. We'll catch you next time.